Your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it in your ears. Your hands are shaking. You cannot catch your breath. And the worst part? There is absolutely nothing wrong. No tiger chasing you. No building on fire. Just you, sitting in your car or standing in a grocery store, convinced you are about to die. Welcome to the invisible war your body is waging against threats that do not exist. 30 million people experience this. Anxiety disorders are now the most common mental health condition on the planet, but here is what nobody tells you. That terrifying feeling coursing through your veins? It is not your enemy. It is a message. And today, we are going to decode it. Let me tell you about Sarah, successful marketing director, 2 kids, beautiful home. From the outside, her life looked perfect. Then one Tuesday morning, while making coffee, her heart started racing. She felt dizzy. Her chest tightened. She was certain she was having a heart attack. The ambulance came. The ER doctors ran every test imaginable. Their conclusion? Physically, she was completely fine. But Sarah did not feel fine, because the attacks kept coming. In meetings, while driving. Sometimes she would wake up at 3 in the morning with her heart hammering, drenched in sweat, absolutely certain something catastrophic was about to happen. She is not alone, and neither are you. Here is the truth that changed everything for me when I finally understood it. Anxiety is not a malfunction, it is a feature. Your body has the most sophisticated alarm system ever designed. It kept your ancestors alive for hundreds of thousands of years. The problem? That system was built for a world that no longer exists. 10,000 years ago, if you felt anxious, there was usually a very good reason. A predator nearby, a rival tribe, a dangerous storm approaching. Your body would flood with stress hormones. Your heart would race to pump blood to your muscles. Your breathing would quicken to take in more oxygen. Your pupils would dilate to see threats more clearly. This response could save your life. But evolution moves slowly. Your alarm system has not received the memo that you live in the 21st century. It still thinks you are on the savannah. So when your boss sends a harsh email, your body reacts like a lion just appeared. When you have to give a presentation, your nervous system responds like you are about to fight for your survival. The physical sensations are identical, but the context has changed everything. Now let me explain something critical that most people get wrong. There is a massive difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is a response to immediate danger. You see a car speeding toward you. You jump out of the way. That is fear. Clean, direct, useful. Anxiety is different. Anxiety is fear of something that has not happened yet, often something that will never happen. It is your mind time-traveling into terrible futures, and your body believing those futures are real right now. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a vivid imagination and reality. Think about that. When you lie in bed worrying about a presentation next week, your body releases the exact same stress chemicals as if you were giving that presentation right now. You are essentially poisoning yourself with your own thoughts. But here is where it gets interesting, and this is the part that most doctors miss. Anxiety without an obvious external cause is not random. It is not a chemical imbalance that appeared out of nowhere. It is information. Your unconscious mind is trying to tell you something. And it will keep screaming louder until you listen. Let me break this down. Your conscious mind processes about 40 bits of information per second. Your unconscious mind? 11 million bits per second. It is taking in everything. Every micro-expression on people's faces. Every subtle change in your environment. Every unresolved conflict buried in your psyche. When something is wrong, when you are living out of alignment with your deepest values, when you are ignoring your authentic needs, your unconscious knows, and anxiety is how it gets your attention. I worked with a lawyer named Michael, high-powered corporate attorney, made great money, prestigious firm, and for 2 years he suffered debilitating panic attacks. He tried medication, saw 3 different therapists. Nothing worked. Then, during one session, I asked him a simple question. If money were not an issue, what would you do with your life? He got quiet. Then he said something I will never forget. I would work with kids, help teenagers who are struggling, like I was. That was the key. Michael had buried his true calling under a mountain of should. He should be a lawyer. He should make his parents proud. He should want the corner office. But his unconscious mind knew the truth, and it was staging a rebellion. The panic attacks were not the problem. They were the solution. His psyche's desperate attempt to course-correct his life. Within 6 months of Michael starting to volunteer with at-risk youth, his panic attacks decreased by 80%. Within a year, they were gone. He eventually transitioned careers. Last I heard, he is running a non-profit and has never been happier. Now, I am not saying everyone with anxiety just needs to change careers, but I am saying this. Your anxiety is almost always pointing at something, a relationship that is not working, a lifestyle that is draining you, unprocessed trauma from your past, parts of yourself you have disowned. The question is not, how do I get rid of this feeling? The question is, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Let me give you something practical right now. Something you can use the next time anxiety strikes. Your body has 2 branches of the nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is your gas pedal, fight or flight. When it is activated, your heart races, your breathing quickens, you feel wired and anxious. The parasympathetic nervous system is your brake pedal, rest and digest. When it is activated, you feel calm, grounded, safe. Here is the incredible part. You can deliberately activate your parasympathetic nervous system using one simple tool, your breath. Try this right now. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, breathe out for a count of 8. The exhale is the key. When you extend your exhale beyond your inhale, you stimulate the vagus nerve. This nerve is like a direct hotline to your parasympathetic system. Do this for just 3 minutes. You will feel your heart rate slow, your shoulders drop, your mind clear. But here is what most people do not realize. This is not just a band-aid. When you practice this technique regularly, you are actually rewiring your brain. You are building new neural pathways that say, I am safe, I can regulate myself, I am in control. Neuroplasticity is real. Your brain is not fixed. Every time you consciously calm your nervous system, you are training it to be less reactive. Over time, your baseline anxiety decreases. You become more resilient. Now let me address the elephant in the room: medication. Here is my take, and this is based on working with thousands of people. Medication can be useful in the short term. If your anxiety is so severe you cannot function, if you cannot sleep, if you cannot leave your house, medication can give you a window of stability to do the deeper work. But medication alone will not cure anxiety. Multiple studies show that while anti-anxiety medication and therapy have similar effects after 1 month, after 6 months, the therapy group continues to improve while the medication-only group often relapses. Why? Because medication suppresses symptoms, therapy addresses causes. Think of it this way. If your car's check engine light comes on, you could put a piece of tape over it. The light is gone. Problem solved, right? Of course not. The engine is still malfunctioning. Anxiety is your check engine light. You need to look under the hood. Here is something else crucial. The modern world is actively making you more anxious, and most people have no idea. You wake up and immediately check your phone. Before you have even gotten out of bed, you have consumed news about disasters, conflicts, crises. Your brain is evolutionarily wired to prioritize negative information. One bad news story has more emotional impact than 10 good ones. Then you scroll social media. Everyone else looks happier, more successful, more attractive. Your unconscious mind does not understand that these are highlight reels. It just feels inadequate. Then you drink coffee on an empty stomach, spiking your cortisol even higher. You sit all day, depriving your body of the movement it needs to metabolize stress hormones. You stare at screens until late at night, disrupting your circadian rhythm and tanking your sleep quality. Every single one of these behaviors is gasoline on the anxiety fire. If you are serious about reducing anxiety, you have to get serious about your inputs. What you consume matters, and I am not just talking about food. Information is food for your mind. Are you feeding yourself a steady diet of outrage, fear, and comparison? Or are you being intentional about what enters your consciousness? I challenge you to try this. For 1 week, no news first thing in the morning. No social media for the first hour after you wake up. Instead, move your body. Go for a walk. Do some stretching. Breathe. Watch what happens to your baseline anxiety. I guarantee it will drop. Now let me tell you the most important thing I have learned about anxiety in 20 years of working with people. Anxiety is not the opposite of courage. Anxiety is often a sign that courage is needed. The most anxious people I work with are not weak. They are not broken. They are often incredibly sensitive, creative, intelligent people who are living too small. They have talents they are not using, dreams they are not pursuing, truths they are not speaking. That creative energy has to go somewhere. When it cannot flow outward into authentic expression, it turns inward and becomes anxiety. Your panic attacks might be your unlived life trying to break free. I have seen this pattern hundreds of times. Someone comes to me with crippling anxiety. We do the inner work. They start making braver choices. They leave the relationship that was suffocating them. They start the business they were terrified to launch. They finally have the difficult conversation they have been avoiding, and their anxiety transforms. Not because it disappeared, but because it found its proper channel. The energy that was eating them alive becomes fuel for creation. So if you are struggling with anxiety right now, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What am I afraid to want? What am I afraid to say? What part of me am I keeping in the shadows? What would I do if I were braver? The answers to these questions might be the key to your freedom. Your anxiety is not your enemy. It is a messenger. Sometimes it is telling you that you are in danger and you need to protect yourself. Sometimes it is telling you that your lifestyle needs to change. Sometimes it is telling you that you are meant for something bigger and you need to step up. But it is always telling you something. The question is, are you listening? Subscribe to this channel for more.